Alright, today I'm going to show you how to make a nano terrarium. This is an older terrarium that I've had set up for a while. And as you can see, it's not really doing very well, so I'm going to tear it apart and restart. And then show you guys the process of how to make a small terrarium like this. Okay, to start, we're going to remove all of the existing plants. Alright, so I've removed most of the taller, scraggly plants that I didn't really like, but on the bottom here I have some mosses and a little Anubias Nana Petite on the bottom there. That does just fine in this terrarium. I like where those guys are at, and I don't really want to disturb them because they're pretty well set into the substrate here, and they're doing alright. I like them, so why do I want to move them? But I'll still try to show you guys the best I can on how to kind of set these up here. So the first thing is to make a false bottom. I don't know if you can see, but in between where this is the soil and then this is the false bottom. So I just use some Fuval stratum, which is just nice hardy substrate that's got a lot of nutrients in it. And then on top of that, I just have, sorry that was out of frame, I just have cocoa fiber, or Eco Earthworks 2. They're practically almost the same thing. And then the other thing that's in here is some small pieces of charcoal, which is literally like activated carbon. It does the same purpose. You can also use activated carbon that you'd find in fish tank filters and stuff. That works just as well. But the purpose of the false bottom is to allow moisture in the substrate and keep the terrarium humid. So there can be like a small layer of water at the bottom that will provide humidity, so then you don't have to spray the terrarium as much as you would have to if you just had substrate. And then the purpose of the charcoal is just like any other activated charcoal, like in aquariums and stuff, but it's to collect built up ammonicals in the substrate. It's very important for bioactive setups like this. There is springtails in here. They're very small and very difficult to get on camera, but I think I should add some more because I think the colony in here is dwindling, so I'll show you. Sorry about that, guys. I kind of got cut off there. I ran out of memory space. But as I was saying, I'll show you how to set up something and make it bioactive here. Alright, so right here is my springtail culture. It's just a reused container. It's a protein shake container. And on the inside, we've got a bunch of charcoal and about an inch of water at the bottom. And this provides the humidity and moisture needed to grow bacteria and stuff. And the springtails absolutely love this because they feast on those bacterias. And for even more food, what I do is I take powdered fish food and I sprinkle that in there. Let's see if I can get some springtails on the camera here. There's one right there. There's the teeny little white guy. He's moving around there. They're very important creatures. People like mistake them for pests a lot. They think they're bad, but springtails in reality are actually really good, and you'd want them in your terrariums and houseplants. Like we have them in all our like moister environment houseplants. So what you're going to do here is just take a little bit from your culture here, and you can just kind of knock them into there. You can also, like, since they jump, you can kind of like tease them in there, scare them into the container. The other method is to get some on since they are so light, they'll float on the surface of water. So take a piece of the charcoal and stick it in the water, and then all the springtails that are on that piece will float to the surface, and then you can just dump that little bit of water into the terrarium, and that works too. I recommend for nano terrariums that you do make them bioactive, because otherwise you will have problems, because it's such a small environment, things build up quickly. Alright, now that you've made things bioactive, it's time to do the hardscape. Hardscape is very fundamental with aquariums and terrariums because it is the basis of your setup. If you don't have a good hardscape, then usually your planting setup will not look as good as you would like it to. Alright, so I'm going to start with the wood. I know it's a big piece. You're gonna ask, well, how are you gonna get that in there? Well, I'm not. I'm gonna see how it's got this root system. These have got some cool pieces that I can easily break off, and they'll fit quite nicely into there. Alright, so I broke off a couple pieces that I like here. I particularly like this one here. I think I'm going to put this one farther towards the front here, and then this one in the back. Actually, I might even just only use this piece. We'll see once we get things in there. I'm going to wash these up because they're a little dusty, and then stick them in there. Okay, so we've run into a problem that stupid me forgot about, is the size of the hole in the top. This won't fit in there, so we're going to use this piece. But it's a little long, but I do like this crank in it. I like the top, so I'll find a way to fit that in there. Make it look nice here. I've got these long tweezers to help me move things around, because obviously you're not going to get your hand in there to move things around. Press that into the straight here. Looks alright. Alright, next is leaf litter. I've got a bunch of assorted leaf litter here that I've collected, dried out, and left in the freezer for a while to kind of kill anything that's on there out. I also sometimes recommend baking leaf litter at a very low temperature or in the microwave, because that will kill off things as well, because some of those bacteria will survive the cold water. The cold temperatures of the refrigerator. Alright, now it's time to plant this. Start off with some Spanish moss here. I'm going to place this towards the back because it can become slightly taller of a plant here. There we go. And then I've got some sphagnum-like mosses here. So I removed this nubius here to place it more towards the front because it's a kind of pretty plant, so I kind of want that towards the front. Oh, and also another thing is don't completely cover the ribosome of the Anubias. Just like planting it in an aquarium, you do not want to cover the ribosome because it will rot and your Anubias will die off. Alright, I'm happy with what I've got here, and all that's left is to give it a proper spray down and clean the glass off. Alright, we're pretty much finished with this, and all that's left is to let the plants grow in. Didn't do a very good job at cleaning the glass, but these little granules and stuff will eventually come off the glass. But that's it for this little terrarium. I know it's not very exciting at the moment, but once it starts to grow in a little more, it will look a little nicer. It's kind of a, I didn't really put much thought into it. I kind of just chucked some things in there and that looked alright. But that's it for now. If you want more videos like this or bigger projects like larger terrariums, like and subscribe.